If the first Colossus achieved its aim, there will not be any need for the second Colossus, a new one. Welcome viewers to the continuation of our discussion on the new Colossus, a branch of the American dream. I've talked about the Statue of Liberty that is in United States of America and its symbolism. It was called the new Colossus for a reason. In ancient times, as I told you, there was a statue erected in the shores of Greece to symbolize the freedom of the Greeks. But I told you that in extension, it was actually symbolizing the freedom of man in its entirety. But then, in our modern times, we know about the new Colossus that was placed on the shores of the United States of America. And I made mention of the fact that the new Colossus will not have been necessary if the old one achieved its aim of freeing man. Why did the old Colossus not free man? Or why is the symbol of that statue wrong in passing on the message of freedom of man? First of all, what or why should man be free? You and I know very well that in as much as we smile and shine our teeth, we know deep down our hearts that something is wrong within. Every human being that has lived and died will testify. There are many expectations of every man in this world, but you get to find out that you really don't get to meet up with your expectations as a human. Yes, you may have the money. Yes, you may have the influence. Yes, you might achieve your career. But deep down, like the old ancient times men of wisdom, like Solomon, will proclaim that even in the midst of all the achievements, vanity upon vanity. That is because the truth cannot be hidden. So in as much as man or humanity has struggled all these thousands of years of civilizations, in the ancient times, all these struggles were geared towards the freedom of humanity as a whole. But the struggle within continues. Men of religious beliefs will say there is a fight between evil and good. Where is the fight going on? Within our hearts. That struggle has led to the bondage of humanity as a whole, as individuals and as a whole. Whether we like to admit it or deny it, the truth remains the truth. No matter how rich you are, no matter how poor you are, you still know that within your heart something is wrong somewhere. So the old Colossus, which was a physical representation of the freedom of the Greeks, was a kind of facade, a lie, because it did not achieve its aim of freeing man. These are symbolisms, but then they are speaking of something that is hidden behind the veil. Now, the struggle of civilization has continued since then till the modern times, when it now looks as if the United States of America is the world power, the ruling force in the entire universe. For which reason the new Colossus was erected If you check very well, that new Colossus is actually the image of a female, or maybe it looks like a female, with a lamp and a book, if I am not mistaken. For the fact that this image was erected was to confirm to you that the struggles of old seems to be like a waste of time. Because, like some usually proclaim in the Greek language, or in some languages, as I heard, the struggle still continues. Now, the question is, the struggle for the freedom of man, has it ended ever since the erection of the new Colossus? Is the erection of that statue symbolizing true freedom? The United States of America, being the present world power and the ruling force in the entire universe, has it achieved the aim of freeing you and I? Are we still bound? Or are we free? This is a pertinent question you will have to ask yourself, and I will have to ask myself. Because no one can tell you the better truth than that voice that is within you. Whether you are religious or not, there is a voice within you. The voice crying to be free. Free from the slavery of self. Free from the slavery of imposed rules and regulations. I will be taking this journey bit by bit so that we don't get confused along the way. But I will also prefer that you ask your questions wherever possible. Because currently we are at the edge of civilization, and scientists has come to prove that despite that, there is still so much that humanity can achieve by reason of scientific achievement. But then, for every step of this new development and achievement, humanity seems to be drawn far, far, far away from being free. World government has produced the apex of, or the best way to rule man, that is freedom, so-called freedom. Choices that we make, we are now free to make those choices, bearing in mind there is still a consequence. That may be the reason for which the United States of America has come to stay, because they bear the ideology of complete freedom of man to do whatever he wants to do. But this freedom, even as you and I know it today, has been an outward freedom. An outward freedom is limited. An outward freedom can put a smile on your face, but can never bring joy to your heart. Never. So, it calls for a sober reflection. Reflection within. Can you sit down and think, am I really free? There are so many technicalities I would like to bring into this journey of enlightenment to you and I. But I would like to be taking it bit by bit. I'm looking forward to you're watching my next video, where I will continue to expand on these truths. If you notice very well, I'm not bringing much of religion into it. But then religion has a very vital role to play in our freedom. But most importantly, like they say, use your head. Some will say, use your heart. We will get to find out which of the two is better, our head or our heart. Or should we trust in some omnipotent creature or creator outside the universe that created everything to give us true freedom? Where is true freedom? This and more we'll be talking about in my next video. For now, I would like to pause it here. Please do well to share and subscribe. Thank you very much.